mountains, and we're small business women. We're all about empowerment and supporting each other and our businesses, and we've made some great friends over the years doing this. So I hope everybody is connecting, and we have a social event coming up, not this weekend, but next, and I'll let Deb maybe talk more about that. And that's in Bailey at the Aspen Peak Cellars. If nobody's been there, then everybody should be there. So it's an amazing place. Okay, so let's just do a quick round of introductions, and I'll start. So I am a paralegal. I do QuickBooks bookkeeping as well. Sometimes those blend together, and sometimes they're very different. So I have a lot of different clients, which is fun. It keeps it interesting. And I am the Mountain Women in Business treasurer and secretary. So if you have any questions on our group, you can certainly reach out to me. You can reach out to Pat. You can reach out to Rachel. I don't see her here, but she might jump on, or Deb. So reach out to us. We're available. So I'll just get started on my squares. Looks like Cindy.
Hi. So this is my first time visiting your group, and I came to learn about your group through Deb. I saw an online posting. And so a little bit about myself. I live in Evergreen. I moved to Colorado 25 years ago, and my first 5 years were spent in Conifer. So Conifer is very near and dear to my heart. And then moved over to Evergreen, where I've raised my kids, and now one just graduated college Saturday, and I have one who is just wrapping up her first year of college. So I'm a single parent, and I'm a wealth management advisor. So it's a fancy way of saying I'm a financial advisor. But one of the things that we do that make us a little bit unique is we're a boutique firm. And so we're not tied to any large broker dealer out there in the world. Greg Wombold is the owner of our firm. That name may be familiar to some of you. He has lived in Pine for, I don't know, probably the last 20 years. And he just bought some property across from, I want to say it's the Come and Go off of 285. There's a very large parcel of land, and he's developing it, and it's going to be called the Conifer Ranch, and they're going to be holding social events there. And I'm thinking about the magnitude of this. It's going to have a little business center where you can host events, and we're going to open it up to our friends and our families. And so we do a lot outside of wealth management. We like to reach out to our communities. I have a program called Women, Wealth, and Wisdom, and it's all about educating women. I feel like we've been a little bit underserved in the financial service industry. I know just from being an advisor, we make up about 14% of the advisors women do. So my goal is to start to help women feel more comfortable with what's under their financial hood, I guess you could say. So I do a lot of free education workshops, and I'm all about empowering women. So thank you very much for having me today. And I look forward to getting to know everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
Pat.
Okay, Smarter Women Colorado, and I'm also a financial planner. We're a little different in that we work with both sides of risk management, from the insurance and the safe money side into the market with different risk strategies, and generally work with women and empower them also. So I'm glad there's more of us out there, because women have been underserved for many, many years.
Great. Audrey, good morning.
Sorry, guys, I had to unmute. I couldn't find it. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Audrey Krebs, and I'm with Aging Services Consultants, and I serve as a care manager as well as a referral placement. I'm with the Greater Denver Referral Placement Alliance. I'm a certified senior advisor, And you might ask, why does somebody need a care manager? Well, I've served as a medical power of attorney for several clients, and that's to be the eyes and ears. If family can't be with them, if somebody may be hard of hearing or have slight dementia, I can go to doctor's appointments with them and help them out, coordinate doctors, coordinate medical appointments as well as prescriptions. And I worked for the state in aging services for over 16 years. So I know of services that are vetted and good. And so I can, as a care manager, coordinate services to make a person's life transition easier and the quality of life improved. That's what I do. Give me a call. Aging Services Consultants. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, I have my PowerPoint that that I've updated, and you can look at it online on Mountain Women in Business. There you go. Thanks.
Okay, great. Tiffany, good morning.
Morning, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I live in Bailey and I'm a RE/MAX Alliance agent.
Great. Good morning. Katie, I know you're speaking, but if you just want to do a quick little intro and.
Katie Burgoyne. My husband and I own Denver AmRamp. We do home and business accessibility.
Great. Rebecca, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Rebecca Parrott, and I specialize in software consulting of all kinds, training particularly in helping design training programs and curriculum design and helping people with any problems. I really love working with business professionals, helping them figure out how to make their software work for them.
Great. Good morning, Beth.
Morning, everybody. I am a life coach and a well-being coach. My business is Pearl Coaching LLC, and my emphasis is habits. I help people feel better through gaining better healthy habits and getting rid of those nasty ones. So I do have two events coming up. Group coaching. It's better, it's more fun, better if we could have group people helping each other. So, and I'm also starting a women's group called Pearls of Wisdom Women's Group on May 19th. And all you have to do is go to my website and sign up for the newsletter and you're in. So anyway, if you need me, just give me a call. I'll put my information in the chat.
Perfect. Great. Great. Megan, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I missed the last meeting. I had my franchise conference, so that was over. Megan Allen with Franet of Colorado. I work with people that want to look into business ownership. Focus on franchising, but I certainly refer people to other providers that would have maybe an open business for sale, you know, things like that. And we all work together to make sure that people get out of businesses before it hurts their family and their financials. And of course, I love highlighting new brands that we don't have in Colorado that you know, it's just fun to find people to get a spark from something and see their passion for it. So I have a couple really hot and heavy candidates right now because they've just had it with the corporate world. So they're looking at all kinds of great things like beauty, and one's a veteran that I got from an old franchisee of mine at Camp Bow Wow. So it's just really fun. I love my job.
Great. Fun. Good to hear. Always good to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, good morning.
Good morning. So I'm Sarah Gardner, work with BP Wealth Advisor, and work primarily with women business owners as clients and upcoming executives to optimize their balance sheet, figure out the cash flow situation with those taxes that come in with that.
Great. Rachel, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Rachel Henderson. I'm the current president of Mountain Women in Business. Hi, everybody. I am also the owner of Rachel's Creations. I've been in business since 1999. I do murals, face painting for events and parties, canvas painting parties where I come to your location. And I also am a part-time house and pet sitter and will be watching Katie's menagerie this weekend.
Great. Okay. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning. I'm glad to be here. You guys are so bright and shiny. I love it. We're all in a good mood supporting each other. It's really special. I'm Karen Brass. I'm a senior sales director with Mary Kay Cosmetics, and I also am an author, and I teach in schools and organizations and businesses how to change the atmosphere so there's no bullying. Imagine that. So making sure that people understand history and why we are the way we are. And I obviously focus on women a lot. So that's me. Thanks.
Wonderful. Great. Kim, good morning.
Hi, I'm Kim Tresnak, and I have started Granny T's Woodworks. Basically, I do a lot of pyrography. I take pictures and I like of animals, elk and deer and whatnot, and I do pyrography, which is wood burning. I also make candle holders that I have wood burned and plaques and coat and key hooks and a lot of different things that has to do with wood and wood burning.
Great. Love it. Mary Pat, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Hello. I am trying to, here I am. I'm down here in Florida right now. And hello, I am a clinician and consultant and coach. I own a business, CSANE Consulting. And currently I am working on a doula business becoming a death doula. I'm also on faculty at 3 of our colleges of nursing in Colorado. So I teach our incoming nursing students. And I'm very excited to be here.
Wonderful. Great. So if anybody, did I miss anybody except Michelle? I know you're the speaker. So did I miss anybody else? Great. So if anybody would like to put their contact information or if they have something on the calendar that you want to share with anybody, just please put it in the chat. And then I'm going to hand it over to Michelle, and I'd ask that everybody mute just so that we don't get any vibrations or echoes while Michelle is presenting. So welcome, Michelle.
Thank you so much. I'm going to put see gallery so I can see all of you. So you all have amazing things to offer. I look forward. I hope to follow up with all of you and hear more about your businesses and how I can support you. So I am an Evergreen as well. I moved here almost 5 years ago from the Boston area. We lived in southern New Hampshire on 3 acres of woods near hiking trails. So I knew when we moved to Colorado for my husband's business, I wanted to be near nature and trails. And I love to hike almost every day, looking out the mountains, and you guys have too. So today, first of all, I'm honored that Pat asked me to speak to you. And I started up a group as well. So I love that you guys are all about empowerment. Those of you I connect with, I'll let you know about my group that's all virtual now as well, Authentic Women in Business. And I want to share some tools with you today that I honestly hope will change your life. I know that's a big, bold statement, but if you apply one of the things that you learned today, I really want you to have transformation. Like, I could give you lots of information. I've been a licensed counselor for over 25 years. Right out of graduate school, I created and ran an eating disorders program in a hospital. And then I had a private practice that was thriving outside of Boston. So I have a lot of information. Studied some mind-body medicine and neuroscience at Harvard Medical School because I was nearby so I could take classes. But I'm really about transformation. And I am so passionate about working with women entrepreneurs and leaders who know they have a difference to make in the world, and yet they may be holding themselves back with limiting beliefs, fears, or unconscious blocks they don't even know about. So I don't really do talk therapy anymore. I've been trained in some really powerful tools that help people release things at the unconscious level. So I'll tell you more about that later. And I'm going to pack as much as I can into the 20 minutes, which is why I gave you a handout. But I promise you at the end, I'll let you know how you can receive more. But if you have the handout, great, you could take notes. I'm going to speak quickly. So, because I really want you guys to get as much as possible. All right, so if you have the handout, or if you don't, there's a link in the chat for where you can just download it. So we're going to talk about 3 M's, 3 things that I believe are secrets to attracting more clients that are often overlooked. Because as business owners, we all wear a lot of hats, and sometimes we can be so focused on what we need to do, all the tasks, all the many things that we need to accomplish. And with my background in therapy, I love to focus on who we are being. So take a moment and just think about, if you are going to hire someone, what qualities are important to you? If I had a little longer, I'd do a discussion and hear from all of you, but just think, sometimes people say, I want someone who's trustworthy, who's experienced, who's caring, who's genuine. So just think for you, some of those qualities. Maybe you've decided to make sure that you embody and emulate that, or you're looking for that in someone else that you're going to hire. So those qualities that are important. And then we're going to talk about the 3 critical factors that smart professionals often overlook that can help you actually be more of that person that you want to be, that is client attractive. So the first M letter that you're going to fill in is margin. Now, as business owners, we usually think about profit margin, right? But I have a little bit different spin on this. I have more the margin that you learned in kindergarten, as you learn to write on the paper, to keep a margin around your paper, right? Or I remember studying in high school, Thoreau and Walden, and talking about Walden Pond and how he said, I love a wide margin to my life. And he was all about simplify, simplify, simplify. And I tell you, when I learned about that, I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds good. That is so much not like me. I fill up everything in my schedule. I'm always so busy. However, I know that we need to keep a margin or a buffer with our time, with our physical energy, with our emotional energy. It's so important. I'll tell you an example. When I was in a networking group in New Hampshire with a bunch of women, not unlike this group, there was one woman who I might have hired. She did a lot of marketing on social media. However, she always had the air of, oh, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I was up till 2 a.m. helping a client and blah, blah, blah with my kids and blah, blah. Like, she always had this air that she had so much going on. And I thought, I don't want to stress her out more by hiring her. Or, if I did hire her, would she have time for me? So I know it can be almost like this badge of honor in our culture to be like, I'm busy. How about, my calendar is as full as I would like it to be. But to make sure you have room, if you know you want to have more clients, to make sure you have room in your schedule for them. And so to think about that, sometimes we need to say no to something that's good in order to make room for something that's even better, that's great. And when I was a mom of young kids, I've been married for over 28 years. My daughter is 19. My son is 16. When they were little and in that stage where they had like all the birthday parties, when they're in preschool. And there was one weekend we had 3 birthday parties to go to in one weekend. I was trying to figure out how to do it. And my husband just looked at me and was like, why would you even try? He had such a different view on things that we don't have to say yes to everything. So I was like, I think we did make it to all those because, hey, they were fun and they were my kids' friends. But it makes me think about in my life, in my business, if you're wanting to grow your business, are you creating room for that? Are there some things that can give way? And so I encourage you to take an honest look at your schedule, not to beat yourself up about it, but just eyes wide open, be really clear, where are you spending your time? Are you spending your time on those client generating activities? And then of course, it's so often to balance that out. So I have written under here that this is a countercultural principle that can dramatically decrease your stress and is client attractive. So making sure you have enough margin. I have a whole separate talk about stress and productivity, but we definitely need to balance the action with the time to refill and rest. You know, be with your family, do those things that are fun. Like I love to get out and hike. I love to hang out with my kids and my husband. So making sure that you have that balance. So that's number one, margin. And you could see how it's client attractive. And there's a saying that says the universe loves a vacuum, which means like when we create space, then often something good can come in to fill it. That can also go with things like clutter. If you feel like your office is really cluttered, your file is jam-packed full, you know, are you sending the message to yourself and the universe, so to speak, that I don't have room, I don't have time? So something to consider. All right, number two, the next M is mindfulness. Now, this has been more talked about in our culture. I'm sure that a lot of you have worked on being mindful. Maybe some of you meditate. And when I think about mindfulness, I think about being present in the moment without judgment. And you may say, well, what does that really mean to be in the present moment? I think I'm in the present moment, right? Well, I'll tell you a little tip that I love to use that I taught all my therapy clients. And it's called the 5 senses scavenger hunt. So we're going to do it right now. And I invite you to just look around your room and notice the things that you see. And then notice what you feel against your skin or your body. So you might notice the furniture supporting you, the shirt on your skin. And then I invite you to notice if you taste anything, maybe your coffee or your toothpaste, or it might be neutral. Notice if you smell anything. And now notice what you hear. I like to do the hearing last because we have to be quite still and quiet to notice the subtle sounds around us. And so that's a great way to get back in the present moment. And I taught it to my kids when they were little. It's really easy. I invite you to share that with any of your loved ones or anyone you think could benefit from that. It was helpful with my kids when they might have been, you know, fell down, scraped their knee, and they're in this cycle of like, you know, they can't get out of their distress, and it can be distracting and grounding. I actually first learned it when I worked in psychiatric hospitals. I got to work on all the different units when I was in graduate school, and I worked on, well, one of the units I worked with some people who would have flashbacks. And so they would literally feel like they were in another place in another time that was traumatic. So to bring them back to the present moment, we would say, can you hear my voice? Can you feel your feet on the floor? And so it was able to pull them back from that distressing place to a feeling more grounded where it was safe. So I knew that if it could help them, it could definitely help me, no matter how much my mind was spinning with, oh my gosh, what am I going to do about this in the future? How am I, all my, you know, sometimes our brains get spinning into the future, which can cause anxiety. Sometimes we can spin in the past. Oh, my light's falling down. Hello. It's not that light out yet in my window. So I have this, there we go. The past rehashing, oh, why did I do it that way? I wish I had done it differently. So there's something very powerful about getting in the present moment. And from then we can think calmly. You probably know all about the fight, flight, or freeze, that when we're anxious, it sets off the alarm system in our body. So our body doesn't know the difference between a real and imagined threat, right? It could be so helpful to turn on that fight, flight, or freeze response when we have an actual emergency. You know, if we have to lift the car off our kid's foot or run fast. The problem is we don't usually have to physically exert ourselves to burn off all that extra adrenaline and cortisol. However, our body doesn't know the difference. Our brain doesn't know the difference. So if you wake up in the morning and are thinking, oh my gosh, where are my next clients going to come from? Oh, is there going to be another shutdown? What's happening with the economy? We can create this stress response in our bodies. And one of the best things to do is just 5 senses scavenger hunt, or bring your awareness and your attention to your breath, because then we can use the smart part of our brain. When we're in fight, flight, or freeze, we're not thinking clearly. And that can be a whole nother presentation, but I know you want to think clearly and make decisions based on your values that are going to grow your business, that are going to help you be the best version of yourself with your loved ones and your clients. So there's a little tip, 5 senses scavenger hunt. So, and then the next one, number 3 of the M words, mindset. And again, mindset is something that's been talked about a lot more in the past, 10, 20 years as new studies come out in neuroscience, and we understand the power of the mind-body connection. We understand the power of our thoughts and beliefs to create our results. There's a quote by Henry Ford, you may have heard it. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Right? So it can be kind of like this self-fulfilling prophecy, where if we really believe, oh my goodness, the economy is not going to bounce back. It's hard right now for my industry. I'm not going to find clients. If we're believing that and feeling that way, we can probably create that, right? Rather than telling ourselves there are more than enough ideal clients for all of us. Or reminding yourself, I have an amazing gift to offer and I make a difference in my clients' lives. So our mindset's really important. So I say on the handout that there are 2 simple shifts to get you out of feeling stuck or procrastinating when it comes to marketing. I know, I will admit, I do not love being on my computer. I do not love social media. When I moved here, I decided I'm doing all in person. I networked all over the place, all over Denver. And that's when I decided I'm going to create a networking group in Lakewood because I don't want to drive to Stapleton. I don't want to drive to Centennial all the time. So I created a group, and when the shutdown happened, of course, then I had to adapt, right? I mean, I was seeing 90% of my clients in my office in Lakewood. I was networking, in person all the time. So I had to adapt, and I had some resistance to it at first. I was like, I want to be on a hike. I don't want to be on my computer. However, these things helped me. So number 1, I would like you to think of a statement that you say to yourself that involves the word should, like I should. And think of something that you feel you should be doing, but you're not right now. So close your eyes and just notice how that feels in your body when you hear this should statement that you say to yourself. And notice if it brings up any emotions. And then I invite you to take out the word should and replace it with the word could. I could. Notice how that feels. If it brings up different emotions or feels different in your body. Okay, open your eyes. And I would love to hear from just a couple of you. How did the should feel? When you felt that I should statement, what came up for you? Go ahead and unmute and share. And in the meantime, I love the chat too. Mary Pat saying, my affirmation yesterday was, I am in gratitude with my 5 senses as I embrace standing tall in my authenticity. Oh, I love all that stuff. We have Mondays are gratitude days. My business is, my group is Authentic Women in Business. Love all that. Mary Pat, we're going to have to connect. I want to connect with all of you. Anyone want to share what that was like for you to hear that I should? Yes, Pat.
I actually kind of curled up because it was about marketing, and I had hired somebody and now that wasn't working. So it's like I have to do it myself. I have all the tools and I could do it. The should was like, oh my gosh, I actually crossed my arms because I really don't want to do it. So.
Got it. Anyone else want to share? And you could share how it felt with the should and the could if you'd like. Yes, Rachel.
My should was get back to the gym more regularly and lose a little weight since COVID and everything. And the should feels, it feels more pressure. But then when I said could, that felt like a wimp out are a cop out as well, because it's more like I need to for my health, for my well-being, for my sanity. I don't want to be making excuses.
Right. Yeah, I got that. So what happens, what I have seen from a lot of women in my own life, when we hear the should, it often shuts us down. It often feels like Pat says, you sort of constrict, you sort of, it feels like pressure. I should and I have to. Sometimes the should might be coming from someone else. Like, you know, I should be doing this, but I don't really want to. It would sometimes bring out my inner 2-year-old that would say exactly that. Like, I should, but I don't want to. Right. Or it brings on like guilt and shame, like I should, but I'm already failing because I'm not. So the could can be designed to give you more choice and be in a place of empowerment. So I'll take the workout example. So some people, and I'm not sharing my whole story with you, but in high school, I was definitely type A personality. I was a gymnast, straight A student. I developed into a vicious eating disorder, but that's why I got therapy and decided to do what I do and help other people heal. And I had a lot of shoulds on myself. And so even when I was following through, it felt icky. So when we have the could, it frees us up. So for example, someone might think, I should be working out for an hour, 7 days a week. But then you might say, well, that's not really a priority or realistic right now, but I could go to the gym every other day, or I could go for a walk on my lunch break. So the could is designed to help you find a way. Well, what does seem reasonable? What could I do that fits into my schedule? Maybe starting small baby steps to get you over that avoidance hump. And then sometimes it might be, oh, I should keep my house perfectly clean, even though I have young kids and blah, blah, blah. Or it might be, I could hire someone else to do that. Or, I should fix my website. Well, that's not really my area of expertise, so I could hire someone else. So sometimes it's reevaluating. Are you feeling a should that you just need to let go of? You could delegate, or you could do in smaller bite-sized pieces. Or I felt a lot of guilt and pressure when my kids were little, where I really believed I was surrounded by a lot of other moms, and I ran a moms group. I was like, I really should be creating beautiful scrapbooks and sending pictures of the grandparents and blah, blah, blah. I had all the scrapbooking supplies. And finally I had to say, you know what? I could, but I'm not going to. I need to let that go because that is not a priority. I'm not a scrapbooking mom, and I need to make peace with that. So the could allows you to have choice. It's very similar to the have to, choose to. If I feel like I have to market online because that's the way the world goes, if I feel the have to or should, I could avoid it all day long. Those of us who are working from home, there's plenty of other stuff I could do to avoid that. However, if I say, I choose to, or I choose to because I love what I do and I love having new clients, and I'm in business for myself because I love the freedom. So I'm choosing to market online because I know I love gathering women and connecting them and providing my resources and tools. So that is a really helpful shift for me to change from a should or a have to a could and a choose to. And then the one other little tip, because I said there's 2 simple shifts. Those of you who have to get up the phone and make phone calls or go into a networking meeting who might have some resistance around it, I would love you to think about this story. Imagine if you were making brownies or one of your favorite desserts in your kitchen, and the kitchen was smelling delicious. I love to make Toll House chocolate chip cookies. And imagine that you have neighbors, friends, family, prospective clients in the next room, and they can smell it. And you take them out of the oven, and then you start to have doubts. Wait a minute. I don't know if I should offer it to them. I don't know. I don't want to be pushy. What if they say no? What if they think I'm being pushy and like rude? So you can all see how ridiculous that is, right? Now, if you were to offer your brownies, your chocolate chip cookies, your cherry pie, whatever it is, to the group in the other room, some people might say no. I used to have celiac. When I was stressed when my kids were young and overwhelmed, and I had a very heavy caseload with my private practice, I kicked off an autoimmune disorder that I finally figured out was celiac. I've since turned off my gene with the healing work I do. However, I understand that if someone had offered me a baked good at that time, I would have to say, no, thank you. No offense to them, I couldn't have it. Maybe someone in the room is diabetic, but people are going to say no for their own reasons, but you're still going to offer. And they may say, oh, I can't eat it. However, if you have extras you want to send home, my teenagers would love it. So like when you're sharing your services, there may be someone else they can refer you to. So I love getting into that energy of like, oh, I have some delicious brownies to share, right? So really remind yourself before you have to get on the call or anything. And here's this bonus, what you must do before any networking event to maximize your time and make great connections. Number one, set an intention. What do you want to get out of your time? Do you want to find one other person for whom you can support? Do you want to share a resource? I love being a connector because I know of a lot of other people. And as you all are speaking, I'm thinking, oh, I want to introduce them to this person. So go in with an intention. Who do you want to be when you go to a networking meeting, or when you get on the phone to call prospective clients or you follow up? And then the other thing is really, ideally remind yourself, and this is like the brownie story, remind yourself of some of your favorite clients you have worked with and how they have raved about you. Oh my goodness, you've helped me find the best house. That was amazing. We couldn't have done it without you. Or, oh, you saved my finances. Pat's told some beautiful stories in my networking group about how she's completely changed lives and families. You all have those stories. So if you feel that like the phone weighs 10,000 pounds and you don't want to follow up, remind yourself there are people for whom you've made a huge difference, and there are other people who need you. So as one of my mentors said, because I've always worked with coaches and mentors, she said to the group as a whole, not to me, she said to the group, get over yourself because people need you. And I loved that. I was like, yeah, sometimes we get in our own head and insecurities where it's like, you know what, people need us. So we're just going to share our brownies joyfully and generously. So those are some tips. I would love to connect with you further. I have in the chat and in the handout, there are some links. So in the handout, you have some links where I would love to send you some gifts right away. You'll get that in your inbox if you sign up. I have a little special report called More Money, Less Stress, 7 Simple Ways to Create More Calm and Cash Starting Today. I also have, because I know I focused on 3 overarching principles, and I guarantee if you use the 5-second scavenger hunt, if you use the should, change into the could, this will make a huge difference for you. And then I also have 50 ways to attract more clients. So I'd love to send those in your inbox. Also, if you'd like to hear more about how I work, a lot of women come to me when they want to make more money, and we break through, we release their limiting beliefs, their fears. I often help people release PTSD, any kind of trauma levels of severity within a couple of hours. I've really trained with some amazing techniques. So no matter how dramatic the trauma, no matter how intense the fears or limiting beliefs, I have a way to teach you to release them with grace and ease. And then I love teaching manifesting tools as well, so people can be magnetic to their ideal clients and grow their business. So I'd be honored to get on the phone with any of you to follow up. And yes, Steph, were you raising your hand? And I think I had till 8:40, so I think I'm right on time.
Yep. Yeah, so I was just wanting to make sure that we give Katie plenty of her time, but you have a wealth of information. So I love that all of your contact info is in the chats and on the email attachment that we all got. So thank you so much for all of your time and information. Love it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, thank you.
I just want to say I joined Authentic Women. I've been going Monday noons, and it's really interesting and great, wonderful information. Thank you, Michelle.
You're so welcome. Thanks again for inviting me. It's lovely to connect with all of you.
Michelle, this is Mary Pat down here in Florida, and I just want to say thank you so kindly. I was going to put this in the chat, but speaking about connecting, I am currently working with an individual trying to find an eating recovery residential center for a 16-year-old. It is quite the journey.
Yeah, well, let's connect, because I yeah, know of some programs. That used to be my specialty. It's not as much as many more, but there are a lot of similarities actually with women's relationship with food and their body and women's relationships with money. So it's interesting. Thank you, Mary Pat. I look forward to connecting with you.
Okay, great. All right, so let's shift over to Denver AmRamp with Miss Katie. So you have the floor, and I'll just ask that everybody mute again, just to make sure there's no echo.
All right. Can I share my screen?
Yes. Who is, am I hosting this right now?
I don't know. It kept switching back and forth up there of who host was.
Okay.
Oops.
I saw that Katie was the host.
Okay. It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Did that do anything?
No.
Am I sharing the screen? Oh, no.
Sorry.
And we lost Deb.
Okay. All right.
It says
I can just do it another time. I can just do it another time when we can get this to work.
Okay.
It keeps popping up that Stephanie has the screen share.
All right. Let me try this here. Sorry, everybody. Not do anything?
No.
Katie?
I've got, you're sharing the screen.
Yeah.
Let me.
Whoever's the host can probably see a sign down on the bottom left that says security. And if you go in security, it should have a button you can click to say allow participants to share screen.
Okay. Hit that.
And so
there. Okay. Thank you, Michelle.
You're
Thanks.
welcome.
It's working.
Okay, yay.
Okay. Edit.
Oh, hold on. Okay. Thanks. Come on. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just thought this would be easier so then people can actually see what we do because I've talked about it and it's easier to actually see it. So my husband and I own a company called Denver AmRamp. We do home and business accessibility. The main thing we do are handicap modular ramps. We have 6-year-old twins. These are our twins, Colt and Gage. So these are what our ramps look like. We do steel and aluminum, and they're modular ramp systems. So what this means is it's a bunch of pieces like an erector set. So we can just come out to your house, set this up. Setup takes about an hour and a half. There are no modifications made to your home. The ramp just sits right on the threshold. So because we make no modifications, we don't need any permits to do these jobs. So whereas if you were to have a wood ramp installed, you're going to need a permit to do that. We can put our ramps up to trailers. Most of the work that we do is temporary, even though these ramps can be kept as a permanent structure. They can also just be for a month, a week. Right now, May is one of our busiest months with high school graduations. We do all the local high school graduations. Grant Humphreys Mansion actually had their VPL stopped working, and they had a wedding that weekend, and the bride's father was in a wheelchair, so we installed this ramp so it was still accessible while we were waiting for the new VPL to be installed. We do install vertical platform lifts and stair lifts, but only for homes. We do not do businesses. The only reason that we could do one at Grant Humphreys is because it's technically considered a house by the state of Colorado, and they can get away with things that other people can't. High school graduation, so we can do temporary ramps to stages, any type of event. You know, if someone's getting married and needs grandma or grandpa or mom or dad to be able to access the venue. This is the Colfax Rec Center. They were actually redoing all the lights. And in redoing all the lighting, over here to the left where the guy in the black outfit is, that's actually their handicap ramp. But since they were redoing all the lighting, they were going to be blocking off the handicap ramp. So we come in, set this ramp up while the work is done, and then just pull it. The ramps are great for snow in the winter, especially. They're steel and aluminum mesh, so the snow actually just goes straight through them. There are some other companies that do an aluminum flat surface. We do not install those. Our liability insurance will not even allow us to install them because they're like an ice skating ramp. Ice skating, you know, it just becomes like an ice skating surface when that snow melts. We can do second level entries. This was actually a ramp in Boston. That's where our corporate office is. We're a franchise. This was the ramp when they went to go out and install it. And this is actually an ADA compliant ramp to the same location. So you can see how much safer that is. So our ramps are, you can just see that our ramp is still standing there. That was kind of a tornado had come through a trailer park here. These are just our portable ramps that we can do for smaller steps. This was actually a ramp that we went out in Aurora. They had just had this, it was only 2 years old, and you can tell just from the moisture and then the sun here in Colorado, it's just not a very good option.
Hey,
But then
Katie,
also,
hey, Katie, I can't
yeah.
see you moving through anything. I just see, it says pick an account. Like it wants you to log into your Outlook or something.
Really?
Yeah. So
Okay, thanks for
I
telling
wanna
me.
see. Yeah.
Because I don't know, hold on. Oh, really? Thanks. As I'm scrolling through all these pictures, thanks.
Yeah, well, I was
Thanks
like,
for telling me.
I can't
All right.
see moving around. There we go.
Okay. Now you can see. So before you can, all right. So this was the wooden ramp right here that the guy had that was 2 years old. And you can see just like the damage that happens from, you know, the snow and the rain and then the drying out here. And like I was saying, with the wood ramps, for this type of thing, you need to have a permit. And then also, if he moves, obviously that ramp is not going with him. So here's just some of the damage. And like I said, this ramp was 2 years old. This is what we replaced it with. And then, you know, the nice thing is now if he moves, he can just take this ramp with him. Not a big deal. We just go, we disassemble it. We can take it to the new location and either add in or take away a piece and make it work for his new house. Our ramps are fireproof. This is our pro ramp. So we do these, we've done a couple for Denver mental health. These are IBC compatible instead of ADA. So the ADA ramps are 36 inches wide, where IBC, International Building Code, these are 55 inches wide. And they're just a heftier product. You know, they're still the same modular ramp system. So again, there's no permit needed. General contractors love this. The city of Denver loves this because they don't need permits, and even doing them for the city, it's still, you know, a lot of hoops to jump through. We do the ramps for the Colorado Olympic Training Center down in the Springs each year when they do their award ceremony. This ramp has no railings. We usually will not do a ramp without railings. It's not safe. However, when you're working with the Olympic Committee and you know, these are Olympic athletes, and you're like, well, it's not safe. Like, you really need railings to pull yourself up the ramp. And they're like, yeah, no, we don't. No. So, okay, very true. So that was a really cool experience, and we do that one each year. There's a vertical platform lift. These are actually really great up here in the mountains. You know, we do have, I've gone out to estimates in Bailey, and I had someone call, and a guide for kind of the way we do a ramp is 1 foot equals an inch for ADA. Okay, so if you've got 16 inches, you would need a 16-foot ramp. That's ADA. If it's at your home, it doesn't have to be ADA. It's up to you. You know, safety is our number one thing, though. I'm not going to let you put a ramp that's 5 feet to a 10-foot to a, you know, it's just not safe. I've gone out somewhere and they've had 30 stairs, you know, and I'm like, you need a, you know, 70-foot ramp, and there's not room in your front yard. So these are more cost effective and a lot less room. And same, these can again be moved to your next house. This is just another view of vertical platform lift. They have a couple options as far as how you get into them, whether you can go a side entry or a forward entry. Stair lifts, we do straight stair lifts and curved stair lifts. Straight is much more economical if you have the ability to move yourself, you know, so like with this one, we could do one straight and then another straight up if you're able to move yourself from chair to chair. If not, then the curved is really the way to go. Just this shower was made into a roll-in, and then all the grab bars put into place. You know, a big thing that we focus on up here is making it so your home can be your forever home. You know, so no matter where you are, we can help you age in place, and you don't have to leave your house. And, you know, and that can be a lot more economical. You know, rather than going to stay in a home, we can come in and put in stair lifts and grab bars and lower your counters. We can make your home fully accessible so it can be your forever home. This just to show, so we also accept all Medicaid waivers through the state of Colorado, and we work with all the community centers like the DDRC, the Resource Exchange, Developmental Pathways. I'm always looking for resources to help my customers get ramps or get accessibility for free, for grants, however, you know, however we can find sources. There's some really good resources through the state of Colorado where they will give money if you have a permanent disability. So that's what this case was. This family had 2 little boys that were autistic. The DDRC came in and said that this fireplace was a tripping hazard. So we removed the fireplace. This is that house now. So hard to even tell it's the same house, but that's the kitchen that was behind, and then there it is now. So my husband is also a general contractor. We don't do this type of thing anymore. For this project, we would come in, we would remove the fireplace, we would make it ADA, and then we would have another contractor come in and do the rest of the work. We are too busy. And kind of as Michelle had said, I really like that where she said, you know, the universe loves space. And that was something that we found was like, yes, we have the capabilities to do all of the general contractor stuff. Damon is a GC and he's licensed in the whole state. However, we chose to just focus on ADA, you know, and then that lets me refer things out to other people, and, you know, and just, we can focus on our bandwidth that we are at. I've really learned a lot of this, and I really liked a lot of the things you said, Michelle, because I learned this last fall. Accounting, bookkeeping is not my forte. It makes my brain hurt. It makes, like, it starts on fire. And so we made a decision in the fall to hire Stephanie, and bringing Stephanie onto our team has been, I mean, absolutely like life-changing for our business, because it took something that I wasn't good at, and it took that off my plate. And it was like, okay, so now I can focus on things that I'm good at doing, or that my business needs more of. And that's been huge. So yeah, so that's, and then there's just our call center. That's about it. So like I said, we're a franchise. You know, everything, I think I did that right. I put our local number, but the call center number, that or people call the 1-800 number, they go through the call center in Boston and they kind of like divvy out leads. But yeah, that is about it. So any questions? I mean, you missed some pictures in the beginning, but it was mainly, it's all just ramps, and it's just to show you that they're like big erector sets.
How long have you owned the business?
So we've owned it for 2.5 years. We bought it from my parents, who owned it for 6 years before. So,
Nice.
and my husband was a general contractor and built homes before. He built custom homes, but this was, yeah, getting out of that. So my brother actually owns a franchise as well in Michigan.
The same franchise?
Yep, same thing.
Oh, family affair.
Yes.
You know,
That's the best way to go into business with family. You each own your own franchise.
I have brothers right now in my pipeline, Katie, that want to do something together, and there's a home services brand called Brothers with Gutters or something, and I teased them. I was like, "Are you sure? This is on. This is a great one for you." Yeah, just he and I laughed about it.
Yes. So yeah. But
Great. Well, thank you, Katie. That was very informative.
thank you.
So if anybody, I know there's a couple like Audrey, I mean, maybe you're, surely you have some clients that at some point will need some ramp help, and you too, Megan. And
Absolutely. Thank you. Yep, that was great.
good.
And Steph, I
okay.
need to talk to you too.
Okay,
Later.
absolutely. I put all my contact info in the chat, so my phone number's in there, my email, so just reach out. Okay, so we have a couple. Pat, do you want to talk just real briefly on LCell and Bailey Days, things that we have coming up?
Right. Bailey Days is June 19th, and LCell, which is Elevation Celebration in Conifer, is July 24th and 25th. I just got the exact times for both. So an email is going to be going out as a member. You booth with we have the canopy with walls, table and chairs, tablecloth, and you can come in and also represent not women in business, but represent your own company for a couple hours. And you can do Bailey Days and LCell. Audrey has already signed up to do Bailey Days. I'll get the times out because I just got these this week, and we can start signing up for times, and I will need help setting up and taking down this wonderful canopy that we bought last year. So, and if you have banners or anything, your own bungee cords to put them up, but any business that you can promote on your own is great. So we'll be looking forward to that, getting out and seeing some people again.
Great. Okay, and then again, I think Deb, I'm not sure if Deb is on with us. I think she was having some technical issues, but so she'll be sending out an invite for Aspen Peak Sellers Sunday the 16th, I believe at 3. So it'll be our first time out, so I'm kind of excited. I know Aspen Peak, they have an outdoor area for everybody, and it's just a great place. So I hope everybody can put on and look for that. Okay, anybody else have any quick events or?
I see Rachel.
Okay.
Thank you. Just real quick, the board members and myself are meeting next week, and I found out from the church that there are some options for possibly having in-person meetings again. So we will keep everyone posted about that. We're going to try to keep the Zoom option either way, so we can broadcast if we do meet live, or we could maybe do one Zoom, one live meeting a month. We're going to do some discussing and figure that out, but hopefully we'll get to see everyone in person soon. Thank you, ladies.
Okay, and if anybody's interested in coming on board and helping with all of the organization of Mountain Women in Business, reach out to us. Happy to have you aboard. So, okay, I think that's it. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Michelle. Great meeting. Everybody go kick butt today on Thursday. Okay, bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.